What's up guys, my name is Dean, aka the Blue Crusader, and welcome back to the channel. I did a video a few days ago on the top 10 best upcoming PC games, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you 10 more awesome PC games coming soon this year, which you should definitely check out. There's some really cool games coming this year that I even had to make 2 videos about it, so if you do want to check out the first one, the link will be below. Without further ado, let's get into the list. Number 10, Ghostrunner. Set in a first-person view, this game is a slash and thrash action title coming from All In Games that drops us into a cyberpunk city in the future. We've already mentioned the highly anticipated Cyberpunk 2077 in the last PC Games video on the channel, so in that spirit we're featuring another cyberpunk title, which is Ghostrunner, on this video. The last shelter of humanity during a world-ending cataclysmic event, you climb Dharma Tower from its depths up to its peak to have a showdown with its keymaster to avenge your past. The streets below are full of action-packed fights versus violent individuals, and when you eventually reach the top, you fight Mara the Keymaster, who rules over the construct. As resources and things such as food diminish and the strong pick on the weak, mankind shifts towards extinction. You play as the most developed and skilled blade master ever, and although outnumbered, you'll bring just as many enemies with your katana weapon and use some really insane reflexes to dodge bullets. This game looks pretty unique, and the awesome free running with wall running, sliding and other parkour and special moves makes it look awesome. It's probably going to be a whole lot of fun to play when it drops this year. Number 9, Destroy All Humans. Originally released back in 2005, Destroy All Humans was an open world game for the console platforms in which you controlled an alien invading Earth, a parody of the war era alien invasion movies. This game was pretty highly rated, and a lot of us loved this game many years ago when it was released. Now, I only played this game a little bit as a kid, so I did get to experience how fun it was, but I didn't play it that much, although I am looking forward to actually getting around to play it fully when it makes its return in remastered form. The game returns this year on the 28th of July in remastered form, with all new graphics and visuals with higher resolution and better models. It's set in the 1950s, where you lay waste to America as the main alien protagonist, Crypto-137, who is embarking on orders of invading the planet, attacks Earth. You attempt to bring a collapse to the government forces, harvest DNA of the unlucky people you run into, and just basically use a range of outer space weapons and mind control to seize power. You can even fly around in a flying saucer UFO in this game and blast people and buildings with your laser rays. The game is coming to Steam as well as Xbox One and PS4 this year, and judging from the trailers and comparison footage, it looks like a quality remaster where it still should feel exactly like the original game, but more like you're playing a 2020 game, so this should be a good one. Number 8, Blazing Sails Pirate Battle Royale. With the highly popular Battle Royale genre still reaping success, with titles such as Apex Legends, Warzone and more doing super well still right now, and with so many having good words to say about their experiences with games like Sea of Thieves, it should come as no surprise to any when I say there's a new game which blends both genres together. Yes, I'm talking about Blazing Sails, which is a brand new pirate battle royale game coming in the third quarter of 2020. Now, we haven't seen many of these types of pirate games, although there are a couple of others set for this year with a similar concept, but this game looks unique and it seems to be the best of those that I could find, so I chose to feature this one on the list. In Blazing Sails, you play as your own pirate that you create and band together with other players online to steer your ship to search land and sea for treasure, as well as loot weapons, upgrades for your galleon and more, all whilst trying to sink enemy ships at the same time. It combines player versus player combat with ranged and melee weaponry, along with naval combat. It lets you use cannons and other awesome weapons. The fact that you can go on both land and sea is what makes this game so unique. You have to communicate well and set out a list of tasks and get your tactics down, as you have to repair your ship's damage and fend off attacks. This game looks super thrilling to play with friends online because there's not many other games that have brought this experience to us before. Number 7, Dead Matter. Zombie games were all the talk a few years ago, and there were some quality zombie survival games coming out. Sure, there are still some great games out there, like 7 Days to Die or Left 4 Dead 2, but there's not been many new zombie releases in a while. Dead Matter is one of these upcoming titles, as it promises to bring an all-new open-world zombie sandbox experience to players longing for a new zombie game to play. The environments in this game look really amazing, and you can tell there was some thought behind the building of all of the backdrops and settings to the game. You'll be dropped into Alberta, Canada, which is already already overrun by the zombie plague. Choose to fight through the apocalypse solo or friends, you'll be able to play how you see fit and traverse through forests, badlands and other treacherous terrain as you craft equipment or barricades to build defenses for your home. As time goes on, Mother Nature will have an effect on things in the game, such as create holes in fences or openings to buildings forming as things wear away thanks to the rust and other natural or artificial tampering. There's a whole host of ranged and melee weapons to make use of to take out zombies in style, with an equally large armory of attachments to customize with to improve their efficiency. You'll have to go back to the drawing board as you hunt animals and surrounding wildlife to survive, as well as using your tools for farming. You can also seek out most buildings in the game to set them up as safe houses for protection and salvation. There was a point in time where most people agreed that zombie games and movies were becoming a little oversaturated, but if you ask me, it's time for another zombie game like Dead Matter to grace our eyes. Number 6. Serious Sam 4 Planet Badass. Long-time players should be familiar with the Serious Sam FPS franchise. Well, this year in August 2020, we'll be getting another title by the developer Crow team behind Serious Sam 4 Planet Badass, which is a new game set on Earth before the events of the third game in the series. Offering new variants of old enemies, it will include a lot of the old enemies and content that you love, with a lot of them from Serious Sam 3 making a return, as well as some new ones. Mental's hordes spread across Earth, destroying everything left of the surviving civilization and its remnants, and Sandstone of the Earth Defense Force leads the last remaining resistance to stop them. With a huge arsenal of weapons, you'll have to mow through an unstoppable army of enemies in huge numbers to get out of insane situations. There's the memeable headless kamikaze, beheaded rocketeer, and many other enemies with brand new ones like the frantic processed or zealots. You can also play with up to 4 people via the online co-op to graze through the missions together. The graphics look great, the enemies look menacing, the weapons pack a punch, and the game generally just looks incredible. I have one of the old Serious Sam games which I played a little bit and I actually enjoyed it a lot. It's a quality shoot 'em up that looks like it'll be a lot of fun and promising for fans of the series. Number 5. Outriders. An all-new third-person shooter game from Square Enix, Outriders is a 1 to 3 player co-op game coming later this year in the 4th quarter for Windows, PS4 and PS5, Xbox One and the new Xbox Series X console, making it available on pretty much every platform that's hot right now. Based on the Unreal Engine 4, this RPG shooter game lets you choose between 4 different classes, each with separate abilities that separate them from the others. There's the Trickster that bends time, the Devastator that utilizes incredible seismic blasts of aggression, and the Pyromancer that bends fire to his will, with a 4th class not yet being unveiled. All skills from these classes can be upgraded and developed via the skill tree system in the game. There's weapons from shotguns to ARs and a lot of useful weapons, each with unique mods to upgrade them. You regenerate health from defeating enemies, and you can move in and out of cover to avoid enemy fire as you fight against both humans and monsters in the levels. Exploring unlocks new hub-like areas and new characters with quests, and you can decide how a conversation will go with the dialogue options. As you scavenge special loot and upgrade your character's gear, you will become stronger, and this game attempts to blend both RPG and FPS fundamentals together to make it a multi-genre masterpiece. Hopefully the hype will live up to it with this game, because it does remind me somewhat of Gears of War and also a little bit of Destiny. Number 4. System Shock. Most of us have probably heard of the original System Shock games. In fact, I even own System Shock 2 on Steam, although I haven't personally completed it. However, I've seen people play these classics and they look super fun, especially from myself who is a fan of classic FPS titles like Half-Life. After 2 decades, the team behind Night Dive Studios is coming back to remaster and also reimagine the original System Shock game. The game will attempt to stay true to the original experience, such as keeping a lot of its core mechanics and features, but also giving it modern visuals of the current expectations in the gaming industry. There's no official release date other than just 2020 right now, but the game looks pretty awesome. The team is made up of developers from the gaming industry who have worked on different games like Fallout New Vegas, Bioshock and Mass Effect, so we should be able to trust them to make the new System Shock a pretty good release. Now, I haven't actually played any of the original System Shock games, although I do own the second one on Steam. The game is in collaboration with the original developers developers behind System Shock 1, so it should give some grounding to it as it tries to keep its feel to the original. For those like me who haven't had a chance or opportunity to play or complete the original game, then this release should be pretty awesome as a reimagining with new visuals to really breathe life into the game for the newer players out there. This is very close to the release of the remastered forms of the Halo games. I'm a big fan of Halo, and replaying all of the old Halos with remastered graphics in the anniversary releases were really awesome, and I'm sure there's a lot of new players that were introduced to Halo through these remasters, so this could definitely be the same case here. Number 3, Halo Infinite. As a huge Halo fan who is keeping up to date with all of the Halo MCC releases on the Master Chief Collection on PC right now, and a player since childhood, I did have to feature Halo Infinite on this list just because it's coming to PC. Now, I have definitely reaped the rewards off MCC bringing out most of the beloved Halo titles to PC so far, but the only main Halo game I didn't get to play was Halo 5 since I didn't own an Xbox One, so hopefully they will port that to PC too in the future. But it's awesome the new title will come to the PC platform, a pattern that's really paying off recently, especially since the Master Chief Collection is the most sold game on Steam of all time now. 343 and Skybox Labs are bringing the game to Windows, Xbox One and Series X this year in the later segment as the 6th main Halo game so far. Not everyone liked Master Chief's role in Halo 5, so this story should feel more human as Master Chief takes more of a primary role in the new story that's set on a Halo ring once more, as Master Chief's back with the Mark 6 armor in the same style that we saw back in Halo 2 and 3. The game will use the new Slipspace engine, which is basically confirmed by Microsoft that's been in development since 2015 and announced back in June 2018. So we should be able to expect some awesome graphics and a really nice story, which has probably been written with the critics of Halo 5 in mind and should be a whole new adventure, which is a lot better than the last game. Number 2, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. One of the most beloved games in the gaming space is the LEGO Star Wars games, especially LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, which blended both the first LEGO Star Wars game as well as LEGO Star Wars 2 together in a new collection with an all-new hub world set in Tatooine. A lot of people are playing this game right now as well, especially due to the current situation that we're in, and I do see a lot of people on Reddit playing the old LEGO Star Wars Complete Saga and completing it, so it's still actually a really popular game now. I'm a huge fan of LEGO and generally just the LEGO games myself, so you know I had to feature the all-new upcoming LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga game on this list. It's set for release this year, and it's coming to Windows but also PS4, Xbox One and the Switch too, and it's the 6th LEGO Star Wars game, and it should be the better successor to the newer Force Awakens game, which I'm still yet to play in my Steam library, but I've heard that's actually a really good game too. TT Games never disappoint, especially with their all new voice lines and the voice acting that's been featured in their recent games, while still bringing the funny faces and goofy feel of the original LEGO games of old. This game attempts to push the complete saga in the snow by basically adding the additional 3 new movies to be playable for a complete collection. It lets you play through all 9 of the movies in a new LEGO game, with the first 6 movies' content, like the characters and levels, being completely new to the complete saga. I for one am totally excited for this new game, and I'm also looking forward to not just seeing the new Disney movie content, but how the old movie levels differ in comparison to the original LEGO Star Wars games. Most of the LEGO games are really cheap on Steam too, so I'll probably wait a while until this actually gets put on sale. Number 1. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. This is another huge title that's super nostalgic and memorable for players, and that's Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, a game that had a slightly rocky release with a whole lot of bugs, but with some fan service and the passing of some years, it's been rated as one of the best RPG games of all time. Now this is a game which I've talked about for a while and looked into, but I haven't yet played it. This is another game that's in my lineup to play, as I recently started getting back into single player games again after some years. Currently I'm playing The Elder Scrolls Morrowind, which is another classic RPG which I used to play a lot, but I'm really excited for both the old game and this new game. Well, the franchise has basically returned, and the developer Hardsuit Labs is going to bring the second title in the Bloodlines sub-franchise to life this year. This is powered by the Unreal Engine, like a lot of the games on this list. It's been 16 years since the original Bloodlines game came out, so fans should be pretty excited to see this standalone sequel making its way online later this this year. This game is set in the city of Seattle, Washington, in its underworld that's shrouded in a cloud of darkness and corruption ran by the vampire societies of the night, with extremely dangerous different factions running things. In this game, all of the choices you make will affect the story and sway the balance of power, so choose wisely with your choices. Now, you can actually play in many different styles. You could be a bloodthirsty brute, or more of a conservative or reserved character, or even play in a seductive style. There's so many different options which you can choose from. It just depends how you wish to play and mold your character. You will be choosing sides in the factions for the War of the Blood Trade, and be tackling tough foes and encountering some strange characters along the way. The game's coming out this year for Windows, PS4 and PS5, as well as the Xbox One and the Series X model. And that concludes this gaming top 10 list video. There's some really awesome games in this lineup that I hope some of you are excited for too. If you want to see 10 more games coming this year that should hype you up, check out my first video called the top 10 upcoming PC games of 2020, which is going to be linked in the description or in a few moments at the end of this video. Let me know in the comments below which of these games is your favourite and the one you're most looking forward to, or just let me know if there's any different games coming to PC this year which I didn't feature in this video. Make sure to like it if you enjoyed it, and share it around, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on more daily videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.